Stewardship with SNB. Stewardship with SNB.
Thank you for joining us on the program Stewardship with SNB on Rstv. This program is watched only on GoTV channel 142 and Start Time channel 113. You can also join us on our social media handles such as YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. My name is Solomon Nelson Brent. Today our focus will be on local government administration. Of course, all over the world, local government administration is mainly established to bring government closer to the people and to also bring development to the doorsteps of the local people. When this fails, governance is said to have failed at the national and of course at the sub-national levels. Today, the moving camera lens caught up with the administrator of Emowa local government area who will do justice to how far is administered the place called Emowa local government area. I'm pleased to announce that Barrister Franklin Ajomo, the sole administrator of Emowa local government area, is our guest. Administrator, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
All right. What sort of reception did you receive when you took office, and what has changed?
Thank you very much. When we arrived here, actually some few workers from ground, the very first after our inauguration, we came to the council, the local secretariat, the rest officer on ground. Quickly, without wasting time, that was a Friday, the Monday we addressed the workers and we told them, made them understand that for us, our administration is not going to be business as usual as they were doing. Because if you know Emowa local government before now, you see that you come here, you meet little or no person, very few persons. But I told them, I am a career administrator. I grew from the system of the retired, from the system. I was the labor leader for decades, so I know what the system looks like. And as an administrator, you cannot administer the people when you are not on ground. So the first thing we did was establish contact again with their workers and with our people here in Emowa. We talked to the workers, they begin to come to work. Well, I don't blame them, as a matter of fact, because the administration that left before the immediate one had good intention to modernize structures in the local government secretariat headquarters and started rebuilding, and that displaced most of them. And that administration was fast moving to put the secretariat administrative block functional before they left. Workers do not have where to stay. For that reason, they didn't, they stopped coming. Well, the administration that came after that one, well, we have expected, the first point of focus would have been how to complete that administrative block so that workers can return and begin to do their work properly. Unfortunately, that was neglected. But when we talked to the workers, you need to come. And then to make sure we achieved that, I told them, my own system is not going to be business as usual. Work from the hotel, work from your house. No, I must come here. If there's no building, I'll work from under the tree. You know, local government, the intention of local government is to bring government very close to the people. And the government they see is the head of the system. If they come and they meet you, their problems they will feel is half solved because you talk to them. They come with their problems, you talk to them. But if they come, you are not there. You are working from the hotel, you are working from somewhere else. The aim of local government will be defeated. They are not seeing government. Because one, if you are the chief administrator, the chief executive, is not at work, you don't need anyone to tell you. Your principal officer certainly will be off. And when they are not there, sure, the workers will all take leave. But since I came, where I stay is not actually the office for the chairman. That is still under construction. We have to borrow a space where I sit. And I come here every day, except to have a meeting at Port Harcourt. And the scenario has changed. You see that the workers have the zeal to come to work. Since because they come here, they see me at all of them come. No matter how it is, some sit on that tree, some sit by the pavement and all that. There's that zeal to return back. So we've been able to return what the local government administration ought to be to the system. First and foremost, that's one impression I had. And then the natives, the indigenous of the ages too. Since then, you come here. In fact, today I don't know what I mean because of your presence. If not, you come here, I can't enter here. They stay, we walk till about 7 every evening. The crowd, they come, they're excited. They want to meet their government. They want to discuss their problems. And that has been the situation up till now. So for us, I think we've been able to bring back governance to the local government area.
Interesting. Could you share with us the assets and liabilities you inherited? I mean, movable and immovable assets when you resumed office.
Well, the assets and liabilities I inherited. First, I inherited this workforce. First and foremost, the workers.
You have talked about it.
The workers, I met them, I inherited them. Basically, maybe the tables I meet in the doctor's office. I don't think there's any other asset I can say we inherited here. I can't.
In monetary terms, what was left in the coffers of any local government area? To put it differently.
Basically, little or nothing. Little or nothing. In fact, the local government was put into debt. I met instrument of standing payment order. ISPO. Instrument of standing payment order. It is a kind of mandate for the immediate past administration that at the end of every month, the sum of 250 million should be removed from the local government account. And this thing started from February 2025. And from the record I have here, it has to continue till February 2026. Yes. Every month. And if you know how the local government system works, we depend mainly on our location. Only few AGs can have revenues. Basically, those ones are the urban areas. We have some companies and all that. Remember, it's not one of those AGs that is fortunate to have companies around them. So most of the time is our location we depend on. And we have been engaged by this instrument. Soon as our location, the check hits the bank, 250 million euros. The reason they say there are contractors.
It goes to where?
They say there are contractors who are doing roof and electrification projects for them. But my question is, those contracts were signed in September 2024. If you know how contract administration works, at the point of award, you give the terms of contract. You give the conditions of the contract. This contract will commence from this time and it will end by this time. And this is how we're going to pay you. Whether it is by interim certificate, the director of works will do his or her inspections and confirm if no, that is what we call milestone. And then they write the certificate and you are paid. It is either that Or if there's another way or means you want to pay, at the point you are awarding that contract, you will tell your contractor, look, this is the value of the contract, this is how we're going to pay that money, and this is when it's going to terminate. This contract you are talking about now, we awarded in September 2024. You did not talk of how you are going to pay a contractor. You waited until when you have left office in February 2025. That is when you come down and you write papers and then submit to the bank and say every month remove 250 million. How much is the local government allocation?
So can your administration stop it?
We did.
After a proper investigation into...
In fact, when I came, I called these contractors for the discussions. I told them, well, if you are doing any job, because the job is for our people, I'm not going to cancel your contracts, but we're going to discuss. We cannot pay 250 million monthly. If our allocation drops, it means there are some months we can't even pay salaries. Allocation goes up and down. It's never static. It can go up, it can come down. There could be some months we run into this problem of paying salaries. I met with the contractors the first time on the 1st of May. I had a meeting with them. After that day, we had another meeting. My discussion with them was, out of this 250 million, quite understandable, you say you're doing our job. We can give you some money. In fact, we offered 100 million every month. We can give you 100 million. Let's manage with what we have. They appeared to have agreed and understood. They left. We did this for about 3 times. The last meeting we had with them, they said if the amount you are collecting is reduced, it means the thing will spend longer. We say, we don't mind. It means the implication is the interest will increase. We say, we don't mind. We can afford to pay smaller interest than moving that chop sum every month. They said, okay, they were going to restructure whatever be the plan.
With the bank officials?
With bank officials, yes. And the contractors there. You can't believe it. In fact, at that time, we had also written to the bank. So for now, don't deduct. Keep the money on your account. So that when we agree finally on how much to give them, we agree with contractors, they say, okay, keep it there. So that we can be sure there's money to us. If at the end of the day, whatever amount we agree, we give to you, and then they return the other one to the local government for their work. While that discussion was going on, I didn't know that was a total deceit. Total deceit. We were discussing with them, we didn't know they were in the bank. They had gone to court. To obtain an order, forcing the bank to release that money that was on the account back to them. 250 million went back to them. In fact, they started the deduction from February, March, April. So for these 3 months, they are taking 750 million from the local government account. So the 4th month, it will go to 1 billion. And it will continue.
Administrator, are you referring to the past administration?
Immediate past, yes, immediate past administration. The immediate past administration. And we've been talking. And we didn't say, ordinarily you have the right to say, these jobs, suspend for now, let's review it. But because it's a job that you're doing already, we say, let us talk on the terms of payment.
So, in other words, he did not receive any money, no money was left behind for you to start work when he resumed office.
What we even receive is debt. We are receiving this debt.
You have said so. Now, you've been talking about the wrongs of the immediate past administration. Could you tell us your contributions to the overall development of MOA?
When we arrived there, first and foremost, no development can go on in a situation where you have insecurity. We came on board here. We have some communities that have been riddled with crisis. We met with the first community. That was Rubenco community. We met with the chiefs, we met with the elites, and we met with the youths and their security vigilantes. to brought them here. Because before that, at that time, he said that the community was in that crisis that nobody could even stay around. We talked there and we've been able to handle that situation there. The people are at peace now. And they thank and appreciate us. Just as we are finishing with Rumeho, Rumewe came on. We met with Rumewe here. In Adopti today, they are still coming to appreciate what we have done. There is peace, total peace there. I would be able to call the entire AGA, the chiefs, elders, and the leaders of the AGA, and their citizens. We have talked to them. We've been able to tell them the need for us to have peace in the AGA. Because without having peace in the AGA, certainly no development can come there. Because one thing is, as you go to establish anything, tomorrow it is vandalized. So the best thing, first and foremost, is to sensitize them. Make sure they have that need to maintain peace. They see the need to maintain peace. So whatever project you establish in that area can be sustained.
Administrator, can you tell us offhand the number of workforce you have in Emowa? And this should be tied to the average allocation you receive monthly.
Well, the total workforce we have there is about 1,320 workforce. For now.
320. Excluding political appointees.
Yes. The workforce. All right. Plus or minus. Just say an average of 1,500.
So how much do you receive on the average monthly?
We've got only 1 month allocation since weekend, so we cannot make an average for now.
So what was it, that 1 month allocation received? What was it like?
It's a local government allocation. When it comes, they have their gross. It's not all that goes. You out of that allocation, you pay out money to the traditional rulers.
5% of it, is it?
You pay money to the Corona Healthcare Board. You pay money to the Local Government Service Commission.
They are deducted from subs.
You pay money to, there are statutory payments. Those are statutory. You should check. You must pay for them. You pay for pension funds. You pay for training funds and all that. So, by the time you look at it, what you see normally on the net is not what you get as allocation. Because what appears on the net is what they call gross. But there are these statutory payments that must be made.
So you don't have a figure?
Well, I cannot make it exactly now. So at the time, maybe I meet my treasurer, by the time I make all the deductions, I'll be able to say what actually is the balance.
So when we started this interview, you told us that when you resumed office, the workers were happy. And what did you do differently from what others have been doing?
At least if not for any other thing, we've been able to make them have that sense of belonging. Their salaries, some areas of salaries they were able to pay the increment. The health workers, as we came, that was the very first month we came. Health workers got a new salary structure. They got cohorts. I will make sure that was implemented that same month.
All right, Mr. Jomo, because of insecurity in Emowa local area, some schools were shut down. What efforts have you made to reopen the schools?
All schools are opened. I've told you the level of insecurity in Emowa is almost at 0 point. My security chiefs here are working marvelously well.
What about the liberal access of the East-West Road, where there are pockets of kidnappings and, of course, insecurity?
No. Since we came, I don't think any incident of kidnapping has occurred since we came on board. So, but naturally, you will expect some criminals here and there, pockets of criminals, and the security chiefs are equal to the task. Because they are really.
As the last we heard about the daily access to office.
Since I came, that has never happened.
Mr. Jomo, you are a direct beneficiary of the emergency rule. The Minister of the FCT, Wiki, has told Nigerians that if he had known that Mr. President was going to announce state of emergency, he wouldn't have advised so. Are you one of the apologists of state of emergency in River State? Maybe because you're a direct beneficiary.
I know that the suspended governor, I've heard him praising and appreciating Mr. President for the state of emergency in Rivers State. He said the president has helped to stop something that would have been very, very colossal in Rivers State. By a state of emergency that he saved a lot of crises in Rivers State. Because assuming that did not come up, from the way, the level of insecurity, the way people were preparing and warming up for crisis, I don't think you would have been here to be conducting this interview by now.
What's your relationship with OSPAC? Or is it a thing of the past? OSPAC in Emowa?
Well, we have local vigilantes, whatever name you call them. We cannot have security without local vigilantes. So they're working very well.
All right, we've been talking with Franklin Ajowo, is the administrator of Emowa local government area. We'll now take a short break. When we return, we'll talk more about local government administration as it affects Emowa local government area. Stay with us.
Stewardship with SNB. Stewardship with SNB.
Well, if you have just joined us, the program is Stewardship with SNB on Rstv. This program is watched on GoTV channel 142 and Start Time channel 113. You can join us on this conversation via our social media handles such as YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. My guest has been changed, the sole administrator of Emowa local government area, Mr. Franklin Ajowo. Minister, welcome again to our program. Emowa was listed as one of the poorest in the state in terms of per capita income. What are you doing to lift the people out of poverty?
I'm telling you that Emowa people are very hardworking people. They are farmers, they are fishermen, they are traders, and a lot of them are good welders and all those artisans. So you can't rate Emowa local government as one of the that's a very wrong assessment. I don't know your source. So I disagree.
So have you rolled out an empowerment program for the people?
Of course, it's part of the business we are.
Part of what?
Part of our plans. We have our development plans.
So you haven't done any for now?
No, we're just about 1 month in office. And the administrator has said bring all their plans, to the state for approval. That will be by tomorrow. Empowerment program is part of it. And then we know we are going to skill acquisition is part of it. All those ones are on ground.
All right, let's leave those areas and turn to health. How many health centers are there more in the local government area? And how many of them are functioning optimally, to your knowledge?
Basically all of them. Basically all of them. Basically all the health centers are functioning. Basically all.
Have you gone around taking an assessment?
Basically all are functioning. Apart from one at almost the other. They are finished and then it's just for furnishing. We finish it, it's just for furnishing. We need to put bears and a few other things we need to work.
So talking about health, are you making an effort to ensure that human wastes are properly disposed in accordance with world practices? Because some persons defecate in open areas and all of that.
It's not applicable to us. It's not applicable here. Move from here, I can't sell that. No.
You will be sitting in the office to
No.
taking time to.
I am telling you now, we can take a vehicle and move around. You can't see that there. Apart from this animal waste. Human beings, no, people like the same people now. Very civilized people.
So what will happen when you eventually leave office? Will the people be happy? Or the
Very, very happy. That is the sense we must remember us. Our impact must be first. We must make our marks. They will see it.
So what will the people remember you for upon leaving office?
One, we'll be able to make the people know that they have a government. The people will always know that the government exists for the rural people. Because we'll be able to make some impact on them. Any moment from now, once our projects and programs are approved, come back at the next 1 month, you'll see it.
All right, let's take a look at the educational sector. The secondary schools, the primary schools and all of that. Some are said to be dilapidated. Others are having people sit on the floor to learn and all of that. What are you doing in that direction? Or you've not also gone around to see all of that?
Well, for secondary school, though we signed it because it's our IGA, but that is basically the responsibility of the state government. But primary schools, you see how this is function. You have tertiary institutions, whether primary, whether it is school, whether it is hospital, whatever it is. If it is tertiary, that's for federal government. Secondary, whether it is a health center, whether it is hospital, whether it is primary, secondary school, or that's a state government. But those ones that you hear primary, those are responsibilities of the local government. And we are doing our best. We have been able to, I told you, we've been able to go around. We met with the communities here some few days ago. We've been able to know what their needs are. We know the schools that we may need to put one or two things in them. But almost all the schools are functioning. And why people love education. So it's not a place where you make them suffer for any reason whatsoever. They love education. So anything that is a challenge is part of our plan, the implemented plan. We have rolled them out of it.
Pastor Franklin Ajomo, you have tasted power. You have also tasted money. Would you be tempted to vie for any political office after now?
We are here, I'm here as a technocrat. As a technocrat. And that is what I'm doing. So we can't begin to talk of power and vie for no one. Let us finish this assignment that is before us.
A technocrat that has tasted power and money
Money where?
will be thinking of the next line of action.
Maybe you wouldn't know. A technocrat, I was a civil servant. Where did the money come from? What money? What money?
Local government money.
No, they are here to work. It's the people's money. That's why we're crying that you remove 250 million from our account, we won't be able to do something for the people. What money are you wasting?
So, talking about the 250 million naira that is being deducted from a local
On a monthly basis?
Yes. Have you reported this to the state administrator?
Of course I have. I should do that.
What was his response?
I've made my letters, I've made my official reports. His response, we shall hear. It's not my money. Some people send me here. Say anything I say, I must make my report. I have.
All right, before we draw the curtains, how many wards, how many communities are there in the Moa area? And how far have you touched the lives of these people in these areas? Within a short period of your
we have 14 wards. We have 14 wards in the Moa. I will be able to make them feel our impact across. Every time we brought under the day. People are excited. We receive messages every day. We have never seen it like this before. People don't come here. But now if you are passing, at least you see vehicles. I don't know what happened today. That if not, you won't be able to enter here. People are happy. They can now feel the impact of it. That is the essence of the movement. Government at the grassroots. They come around and they see their government. They discuss with their government. They share their problems with their government, and it is solved. And that is what we are doing. It's not just going to give them. No, let them feel the impact. Let them come and discuss their problems, and that's what we do here every day. They need government. They discuss issues with government, and they go back home happy, and they tell their people what the government has said. That is what we do.
Is there anything you want to add to this conversation?
Well, what I have to say is that I call my people of Emoha to still give their good cooperation, remain peaceful, because no development can thrive in an atmosphere of insecurity. So let the security we enjoy now, let the peace we enjoy now be sustained and be maintained.
Well, Barrister Franklin Ajomo, the administrator of Emoha local government area, thank you so much for your time with us.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. That's our program. Join us again same time, and we shall bring you another guest on a different platform. My name is Solomon Nelson Reed. Bye-bye.
Stewardship with SNB. Stewardship with SNB.
Hello, good afternoon everyone, and thank you for joining us on the program Stewardship with SNB from the studios of Rstv Port Harcourt. My name is Solomon Nelson Reed. This program can only be watched on GoTV channel 142 and Start Times channel 113. You can also join us on our social media handles such as YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. These are the platforms to follow this program as we take our journey around the 23 local government areas of Rivers State and to know how the administrators are faring with the mantle of leadership handed down to them. Stewardship with SNB caught up with the administrator of Gokana local government area to find out from him how he's been spending the people's money since he took over power as sole administrator of that local government area. Joining me on this special interview session is the administrator of Gokana local government area, Professor Gospel Barayo Bear. Prof, you're welcome to our program.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
All right. So let's start this way. How were you appointed as administrator of Gokana local government area? Have you ever crossed paths with the state administrator in the past?
Oh, I've not crossed paths with the state administrator. No day, no time. I heard my name being called to this duty.
Okay.
And I have been a serving lecturer at the University of Port Harcourt. I rose to the rank and file until about a few years ago, I was promoted to the rank of Professor of Educational Management. And when I heard my name, and because I have also been a service to humanity, I didn't have the option to say no. I have to respond to that clarion call. And that was my first time of meeting the Sole Minister of Rivers State, His Excellency, Rear Admiral Retired Ibokete Ekwebas. That was my first time of meeting.
You are performing the functions of both executive and legislature. Am I correct?
You are.
As an administrator of Gokana local area. Do you feel that you are taking decisions unilaterally? How do you feel performing both functions?
Well, you know, it's a call to duty. And with sole administration, just as it is in the state, because today the state is under a sole administrator. So we copy exactly what he does without deviating. So he is leading the path and we are following. So once he takes a decision, that decision flows down to us and we follow his directive.
Do you see your job as tedious or simple since you're performing dual functions, executive functions and legislative functions?
No job is simple. Even if you are asked to sweep a floor, it's not a simple job. So no job is simple, and you don't accept the job with the mind that this job is difficult. If you do so, you won't be able to do anything. You accept the job the way you see it, and when the challenge comes up, you buckle up and meet up with the challenge. So I didn't have a mindset to say this job is simple or this job is difficult. I look at it as an assignment.
All right, Prof, I want you to speak to the plans you have to improve the living standard of the ordinary Gokana man. I want to speak to that.
I was just on that point that we were inaugurated on 11th of April. I want to remember that by the 16th of April, the Sole Administrator was here, represented by the State Commissioner for Police. That was my first outing. And we were able to receive him and attended to the questions he asked as oversight functions of the local government. We were able to take him around. He saw some of the structures that we met on ground. Like we went to the General Hospital at terrible, dilapidated. We saw some critical infrastructure of state government, critical infrastructure of local government, and also the state government. And he saw it to himself. By the middle of May, we've gathered to get report from all over the local government. That was precisely on the 16th. I was barely 5 days after inauguration. By Easter period, we went to the hospitals to present Easter present to some people. When we discovered that the hospital beds were empty, we marched to a retreat ground that was happening in Gokana. And that retreat ground, what we would have done was, we did on the retreat ground, touch the life of pastors, the life of women, the life of children. We were able to do that. That was about the Easter period. Then
you gifted them?
Yes.
Okay.
I think NTA covered that ceremony. We were able to touch their lives, and the people were full of thanks. That day, my wife accompanied me, and we were able to reach as many as possible. And the retreat ground also confessed that was not there, that it has not been so. And by the end of the Easter, on precisely the 21st of May, we were able to organize a workshop for training of teachers. I am from an educational background, and I just had the feeling that I should go to touch the life of teachers. And I floated a workshop for all the teachers in primary school in Gokana. All of them came in their number. I brought very experienced lecturers from the Faculty of Education, University of Port Harcourt. To the surprise of everybody, the Vice Chancellor of Uniport was here that day to declare that workshop open. And at the end of the day, the teachers in Gokana confessed that it has not been so. We took time to ask them, when last was this done? The present-day teacher says, since throughout their stay, it has never been so. So we were able to do that. Apart from that, we were able to carry out other activities. By the middle of May, we organized sanitation exercise in local government. Every ward, I personally came out that day, handled the shovel, handled the cutlass, handled the knife, and showed Gokana people what should be done. As you travel from Kopie to Bodo, you will see that the road is clean. Because one of the mandates given by the Solar Administrator was that we should ensure environmental sanitation. We went beyond that to ensure that drains were desiccated. We went beyond that to ensure that the roads were cleared and the bushes were cut down. We went beyond that and ensured that each community were mobilized through the town criers knocked the gong, and people that day there was mass participation. I was so impressed. I didn't know that the people were willing to work until I asked them to work, and they came out. So these few things we've been able to do to touch the life of the people. On the 27th of May was something very different. That day we had a function in Government House, and at the concluding part of that function, I have to race down to Gokana to preside over the Children's Day celebration. I want to inform you that that ceremony, it just made me remember those days, about 4 decades ago or 5 decades ago, that I used to trek down to Bori local government to participate in Children's Day. I remember the fanfare of it. And that day, I was surprised that that culture could be revamped and that culture should be in place. At the end of the exercise, every pupil that participated in the march past, we were able to give them a customized exercise book. I think, apart from that, we have other projects that are ongoing, which we have initiated, just to see that we make a difference. That's the essence. Our desire is to make a little difference. Because I'm not a politician, I'm from Gokana. This is my home, and whatever I do will live after me. It will live beyond me. So I want to pass and say, when I was in office, I did this. When I was in office, I did this. And I enjoyed that collaboration and cooperation from the staff of the council, especially the principal officers. They've been with me. When we did the sanitation, all of them came. I couldn't believe it. When we did the Children's Day, all of them were here. I couldn't believe it. I've never received such maximum cooperation.
All right, you are a professor and by extension a lecturer, a teacher. How would you describe the learning teaching process in Gokana local government area? Well,
I know that has been the cry at midnight, because we have the feeling that present day children, pupils, students are not willing to learn. I want to say no. Once there's a teacher to teach, there are students to learn, there are pupils to learn. And that was why I brought in that workshop to upgrade the standard of teachers, because I believe that there should be training and retraining on the job. So with time, I will move around the schools with the Director of Education and visit the classroom without schedule. It is only then I will be able to say this is what is going to be, because we have touched, especially the primary school, we've touched them.
So
And
what is the estimated?
that would have informed the massive turn-up during Children's Day.
Okay, what's the estimated population of out-of-school children in Gokana local government area?
Certainly,
And what plans do you have to enroll them?
certainly, I don't have that figure for now. Once we have that statistics, I want to assure you that we attach it headlong. Because others will not be in school learning, and you are on the street hawking. No, it doesn't go like that. It doesn't go like that. So once we have that statistic, which I have directed the person in charge of education to provide for me, we will confront that.
Your predecessor, the past chairman before you came, made efforts at revamping the Gokana Stadium, which would create recreational activities for Gokana people. And of course, also installed solar power on the streets of Gokana. What are you doing in that direction?
The Gokana Stadium is so novel. I've gone there to move around, because that was where the celebration of May 27 took place. I think that thing was initiated by one Chief Victor Jado. I don't know where he got that knowledge from, because what is here in Gokana, I don't think it's in any local government, that a local government has an Olympic standard stadium. You need to go there and see. And when I got there, I was marveled. So this council must touch on that facility, because there are so many things have been vandalized. By the time we settle down, we must touch on that facility. That's my plan for it.
All right. So youth empowerment. Let's talk about youth empowerment. Do you have any plans to engage the youth of Gokana meaningfully, so that it will distract them from atrocities and all other vices?
Good thing is that Gokana youths are very vibrant people, very willing to work. As you entered, the banner at the gate was designed by the youths, full of strength. Even the disabled youths in Gokana are stronger than the open ones. And I just discovered that I am in the midst of very willing people. When we brought in the Nigerian exercise, the youths were engaged. From ward to ward, it was the youths that came out. We also have other plans for them. We just came in. I'm barely 1 month and some in office, and I can't do everything at the same time. So the Nigerian exercise we floated was basically embraced by the youth. Through that Nigerian exercise, we were able to empower 1 or 2 persons. By the time we do for this month, the ones we empowered last month will not be the one we empowered this month.
When you say empower, in what regards?
We engage them. They were involved, in short, beyond the sanitation, they are engaged in cutting the grasses and ensuring that each of the roads are clean.
Okay.
And so those that did so, by the time we go for nomination this month, they are entitled for nomination. So they are hopeful that at least an alert will enter into their accounts, no matter how small it is. So by so doing, we are thinking that any youth that is willing to use his hands, because hands are to be used for work, and that's what the Bible says, whatever your hand find to do, do it with all diligence. So any person that wants to use his hand diligently, council is ready to support that person.
All right, interesting. We'll take a short break. We'll be talking with Professor Gospel Barayo Bear. He's administrator of Gokana local government area. We'll take a short break, and when we return, he will tell us whether the political big names we know in Gokana local government area are putting pressure on him to bring and share and chop. Stay with us.
Stewardship with SNB. Stewardship with SNB.
Well, if you have just joined us, the program is Stewardship with SNB on Rstv. Just a quick reminder, you can follow this program on GoTV channel 142 and Start Time channel 113. You can also join us on our social media handles such as YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. My name is Solomon Nesebred, and my guest has changed. Professor Gospel Barayope is Administrator of Gokana local area. Prof, once again, welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right. In every political setting, there are very big names who are also referred to as kingmakers. Are you under pressure to bring, let us chop, share? Are you under such pressure?
I think my case is different.
Tell us about it.
Because I don't think such persons exist in Gokana. Probably because I'm a professor. If it were a small boy, they could do that.
But some persons recommended you. The administrator does not know you in person. I asked you and you confirmed that to me.
Yes.
So those who may have recommended you may also be asking you, bring, let us share. Is that the case?
Coincidentally, that's not the case here.
What is the case?
The case here is I go to people and seek advice. But nobody, and I put it under emphasis, I say, bring, let us share. And that will be very alien to my belief. That will be very alien to my profession. That will be very alien to my own way of life. Because the legacy I leave behind here is more than what I'm doing now. So I will say I'm lucky. Because nobody, I can't talk about tomorrow. But between the 7th of April and today, I've not gotten the experience. And I don't pray for it.
All right.
I go on my knees and ensure that God answers my prayer in that direction.
Okay.
Yes.
So what's the compliance level with minimum wage payment?
Gokana is exceptional. Gokana pays minimum wage even to the ad hoc staff. Gokana pays minimum wage. In short, it is a law. When I came and they say no, that is a directive on ground, that nobody in River State who earns salary should earn anything below 85,000 per month. And we've kept faith with that. And we don't hope to go back on that. We don't hope to go back on that.
So what would you say you have done to encourage workplace efficiency in your local government area?
There have been no promotion opportunity. On the 30th of April, I actually organized a town hall meeting. That was my first inaugural meeting with council. The turnout was massive. Everybody that attended that meeting, council was going to provide transport for them. And those who didn't attend are asking I should schedule another meeting, that all of them will attend. They didn't know that as you come to this meeting, council will at least assist by giving you a token for transport. I don't think I learned that from anybody. I learned that from myself and I implemented it.
If you leave office today, what would you wish you had done for the people of Gokana?
Oh, so many things. Because I can't do everything now.
Such as what are those things you can do?
No, the ones I've done, let me just expose them to you. We've awarded contracts for remodeling, renovation, and provision of solar-powered lights for modern toilet facilities in some primary schools. As you are moving, as you get to Gabon Market, look by your left, you will see one. And we hope to ensure that before the end of this month, those structures are put in place. We've done so in Bodo, we've done so in Bomu, we've done so in Bera. We've also opened some roads to rehabilitate some roads because we believe in access to government. So the only place people can use to access government is availability of road. We've opened up some roads. We are constructing it and we make sure it is put in proper shape and proper use before the end of our tenure. We are working on that. I'm sure when the children saw that their schools were beroofed, we didn't just go and do graveyard activity by painting a cover and inside is dirty. No, we turned from inside outside. The schools we are renovating, we've deroofed them, added blocks, provide state-of-the-art innovation activities for them. And I assure the children when they come on the 27th that some of them may not know their school by the time we are through with schools. Because if I don't do that, education will not forgive me. So we put everything in place to make sure that these schools we are innovating are are model by all standards. So I'm going to invite you when I go to commission the schools, and you will see them.
We're ready to be
You
part
will
of it.
believe what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because we were angry at the, the learning environment of a child tells more about the child. So when you keep a child in a very dilapidated and ugly environment, the child comes home, angry because we are going to put those schools in the form that people will not know that they are primary school.
But you do not have much time to do all of these.
Yes.
So how do you manage time?
That is why I said, you remember you asked, what do I hope to do? And I say I cannot exhaust what I hope to do. But the little one that we have to do, we must complete them. Yes.
What do you think will happen when you eventually leave office? Will the people miss you, or they will celebrate your departure?
Well, that is left for the people. That's left for the people. Because two things. The sin that a man does, live today is not even after him. It lives with him. The good thing the man does also lives with him. So I won't be able to say that people will praise me, because praise is a virtue, and praise is in the second person, not the first person. So when I leave office, people will judge me and remember me by the evils or the good that I have done. And I leave that to the people.
Okay, I do not want to put you on the spot, but I'm tempted to do so, Prof, because we are on national TV and the people are watching, and they want to know what exactly you do with their money. How much have you received so far?
Just one location.
Yes, how much have you received? How much did you receive?
The
one location that you received.
I won't be able to say exactly so that I don't make a mistake.
Approximate it.
I won't be able to approximate.
You're a professor.
Yes, I'm not a professor of money. I'm a professor of academic. I'm not a professor of money. The treasury is directly in the treasury.
Professors are very precise.
Precisely, I am precise that I am not a professor of money.
But you receive money as a professor.
I received the monetary treasury, and I didn't audit it. Neither did I edit it.
You approved money.
Yes, if it were academic.
It is believed that even though the money passes through treasurer,
yes,
you are the one receiving because you are the head of affairs.
Good. But what I can do now is to say and say we receive about. No, actually precise. If I knew that will come up, I take the figure, because the figure is in the public domain.
Prof, is there anything you are afraid of mentioning how much you have received?
No, I'm not afraid of anything. Because whatever money I receive, have been expended. The projects I am embarking upon, I've taken more than the money that was received.
So how do you expend money when you do not know how much you have received? It's important to us, sir.
No, I don't say I don't know how much I have received. I said I cannot stay here and say approximately this. I'm a professor of academics.
Okay, let me put it this way, Prof. I know you are.
Yes.
I'm also a broadcast journalist, and we are trained to ask questions.
You are. I'm trained to also answer questions, even in the classroom.
Okay, sir.
I answer questions.
Okay, let me put it this way, sir.
Good.
How much was left behind? How much did you meet?
Exactly what I cannot say. You
met zero allocation? Zero account?
I won't say I met zero allocation. I won't say I met zero money. But I don't want to say something that I will need to correct. So if I had that information, I'll bring the allocation paper here. If I knew that question, I'll bring the allocation paper and say this is what was there. This is what came in. But if I stay here now and say we got 1 million naira, we got so, and the book and the record is not saying so, I have not been able to profess my profession. And so if I had that information, I will bring the book and the records.
Having tasted money and power, would you be tempted to contest for any political office after now?
That is the domain of God. And I don't want to venture into the unknown, because the person that holds the future is God. So if we say today, in 2027 I'm going to do this, God holds the future. And let's leave that in the hands of God. It's a plea.
Okay, interesting. Is there anything you want to add to this interview?
I just want to thank you for this session.
And maybe a message to the Uganda people.
Yes, and in leadership, we solicit followership. No leader has succeeded without followership. In leadership, we solicit cooperation. No leader has succeeded without cooperation. So, if Uganda people give us a little cooperation, a little collaboration, a little friendship, because I wasn't sent here to solve all the problems of Gokana people. I can't do that. But we will solicit cooperation, we will solicit collaboration, we will solicit respect so that we can hold this onerous duty. I've been here for 1 month. But I want to say within 1 month what I've told you, what I have done. So that if this council had 20,000 naira, I have spent over 20,000 naira. I spent over that because I have the urge and I had that drive to say, when will I have opportunity to help my people? I have that.
Okay.
I have very set plans. In short, as things unfold, even secondary people in the university, which would help in paying their fees. I've opted for that, to provide fees for 1 or 2 persons, because I'm the university system. I know what people suffer in payment of fees. Many of the Gokana students that in higher institutions are coming from very poor homes, very, very poor homes. And some of them have decided that come rain, come shine, that they must better their lot by going to school. I won't keep quiet at people like that. Once I locate them on the spot, I'll go out of my way to make sure that they do not suffer what some of us suffer when we were in school. I was a student in BMJS about 5 decades ago. I know what I suffered because of school fees. Many of my mates dropped out of school because of inability to school. By then, school fees were 10 naira per month for those who are day students, including myself, and 30 naira. You can get that money. I know how many shame I suffered being driven out of school because I was owing school fees. And I want to say that as many persons that I can help, I'm not about council, that I can help from whatever I have, I will go out of my way and ensure that tears are removed from the eyes of people, because I know what people suffer. On one of our visits with the chief of staff, we attended a meeting of the people living with disability, and I will touch their life. We have agreed to touch their life.
Interesting.
It's just that within the 1 month I've been here, I've presided over just one allocation, which you will ask me how much, and I tell you that I don't know. I presided over just one allocation.
You only know what you have expended.
Yes.
But you don't know what you have received.
I don't even know how much I've expended, because I know where you're going to.
But you're guessing close to how much you have expended.
Yes, so I know that money has been expended, but I will need to sit down and calculate it. And since you don't ask me to do that, I won't be able to provide that now.
It's okay.
Yes.
All right, that has been Professor Gospel Barayo Bear, the administrator of the Gokana local government area, who has done justice to local government administration as it affects Gokana local government area. Prof, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
I wish you well in your endeavor.
Thank you.
Even though you will not go for further political appointments.
No, we didn't agree on that. We didn't agree on that. We said the future is in the hands of God. I said we want to take it from the hands of God.
No.
We want to do that.
I do not have the power.
Good. So you leave in the hands of God.
All right, thank you.
We will invite you very soon for the commission of this
Please
project.
do.
Thank you
Be
very
ready
much.
to be part of
Thank
it.
you very much.
That's our program. Join us again same time. We shall bring you another guest on a different topic. My name is Solomon Nelson Braid. Bye for now.
Stewardship with SNB.